Anybody who thinks it's time to play militia, F around and find out.
Prosecutors and elections officials across the country weren't playing around last week, working to keep polling places and results safe on Election Day. And barring a number of bomb threats in a couple of states believed to have come from Russia, everything went pretty smoothly. Thankfully, we didn't have anything like that here at home. Aside from one report of someone being escorted from a polling place, elections officials insist their systems work the way they're designed.
This is the culmination of months of work to get ready for this, working with over 116 local election authorities across the state, thousands of poll workers, challengers, and watchers across the state. It's a great day.
In Kansas, elections officials have long maintained the voting process is safe and secure, even when now President-elect Donald Trump spread doubt and false claims of fraud across the country in 2020. Let's get the facts on this year's elections with Kansas Secretary of State Scott Schwab, who joins me here on Heart of the Matter. Thanks for coming in, being here. It is Sunday after a busy week for you. Now that the dust is settled, walk us a little through the post-election process. What's happening right now?
So on Wednesday morning, our office drew random races across various counties, and then those counties drew random precincts, and they do a hand recount to make sure what the tabulator said matches what was actually cast. And when we do that, we take 3 people of 2 different parties, and they hold up a ballot of that race and say, do we agree with what this ballot says? And if that meets the tabulator, then they pass their audit. If it doesn't, then they have to do another one. And if that fails again, then they got to do a countywide hand count. That's only happened once. And the other thing that we do is they're going through provisional ballots, people that may not have had a voter ID, but they got to go back, get an ID, and then that ballot counts. Or they voted at the wrong polling place, so the top of the ticket stuff counts, but maybe the bottom of the ticket stuff doesn't count, which is a partial ballot, and signature verification, things like that. And then hopefully Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have the certifications from the county, and the Board of Canvassers meets, I believe, December 3rd.
Nice. Were there any security concerns for you this year? How'd it go?
Yeah, so there were some activists that got through this process of being a poll worker and then started yelling at voters saying, these are voting machines are being hacked and get out. And so we had to have them escorted out of the building because it's just complete lie, creating distrust and just also just fear mongering, which is unfair. But outside of that, it went incredibly smooth. I mean, our poll workers and our county clerks, I thank them as much as I can. They do such a great job. They just scrub everything to make sure they get it right, and they do, and nobody's arguing the results of Kansas elections.
Nice. I want to talk about early voting for a bit. Politicians on both sides encouraged it this year, which was nice to see. Yeah. People getting out and voting even ahead of time. The numbers in Kansas seemed strong. What were they telling you?
So it tells me that the Republican message of voting early, it resonated. Election day, you know, the reason why we had so many returns early is because there just wasn't as much pressure because of the early returns. And the message resonated. People did go out and vote early. If you know, and a salesman will tell you if they've already made their decision, then close the deal. And when Republicans, I think, realized if they would do that, they had a better chance of winning, and clearly they did.
All right, and they weren't. That was not their tactic in 2020 either,
or the year before. The year before,
right.
It goes back to Bill Graves since they've really used that tactic in Kansas.
For sure. You are a Republican who, as we said, has long disagreed publicly with the leader of your party on allegations of fraud, especially in 2020. How do you improve that level of trust among voters, and how do we do that as a country?
I think I don't know how you do it as a country. I think it's on the local level. When people accuse me of voter fraud, I don't count those ballots. It's the people you go to church with. It's the people your kids go to school with. It's your moms and your aunts and your uncles and high school kids. So you're attacking them. And so go have the conversation with them. Go be a poll worker if you don't trust the system. I think we won the argument pretty solidly 2 years ago when we did value them both and did the hand recounts and not a single county flipped. But there are some people that'll always swear that their person lost because of fraud. And there are people who always say the earth is flat, but there's nothing you can do.
Didn't hear from Republicans this year about fraud, did you?
A little bit.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Not as much as 2020.
Correct.
All right. Kansas Secretary of State Scott Schwab, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you.
KMBC 9 News will be watching as the official vote totals come in and exploring the impact of your decisions on air and online at KMBC.com.